Welcome to the 2020 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment. Brought to you by our proud sponsors. Woody's Homebrew Store. Use code BREWTUBERS for 10% off your entire order and get free shipping on any order over $58. Go to www.woodyshomebrew.com. Imperial Yeast, a half stainless steel mash panel sponsor of the Brewtubers Online Brewers Club and official yeast provider of the Yeast Experiment. Imperial Yeast offers brewers of all sizes access to world-class yeast and the best possible customer and technical support. Be sure to grab a pack or two now at your local homebrew shop or Woody's Homebrew. And lastly, Hopsteiner, the official hops provider of the 2020 Yeast Experiment. Get brewing.
Hey guys, HokieHomeBrew here, and it's my friend Scott. I don't know if you watched some videos from a long time ago, you'll see the last time I did one of these tastings, he was the assistant. So he's back to do the yeast experiment, or challenge, whatever the hell we're calling this thing. It's not a challenge, actually, I should tell you that.
Not a challenge.
This is not a competition between people, so we're not judging who makes the best beer.
Hopefully it's all good.
It's hopefully all good. To give Scott background, because I really only gave him like a 30-second summary, basically what we did was we all brewed the same beer, even down to the water profile. Everyone started with distilled water, added the same amount of salts. So this is the most purest form of an experiment that we can get without all brewing together on a giant system and splitting the batch.
Right.
We all had the same beer. It's an IPA style recipe. It's got pale malts and some crystal malt, just a very little bit of crystal malt, carapils, some honey malt, and I think some acid malt to adjust the pH so that everyone's pH was around the same. But other than that, it's basically 90% just pale malt, and it's an IPA-style recipe with Centennial, Citra, and Simcoe hops. So it's going to be, the hop flavor profile is going to be mostly citrus from the Centennial and the Citra. And then we did the dry hopping with Simcoe, which gives off kind of like a grapefruity type. What the hell is that? Got a power surge up in here. Mostly like some fruits and grapefruity type stuff. So that's what it is. And then everyone used a different yeast. That's it. So we're here to not judge, I keep using that word, but to notice the differences of the yeasts. So that's the background information. So we're going to get started. And we're actually going to start with mine and Gary's. He's MaineBrewGuy on YouTube. I wanted to do ours first because as far as I know, and I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are the only two that brewed together, actually on the same system, and we shared the wort. So ours would be the most closest.
Absolutely, only difference is going to be the yeast.
Exactly, and the fermentation, differences. I brought it back here and fermented here, but other than that, yeah. So I wanted to do ours first. That way, while our palates are clean, we can see that. So, without further ado, we can start with mine. Mine's on tap. I sent some bottles out, but I guess I didn't get mine sent back. So, what we're going to do, pour it from the tap. And, of course, I'm making a mess. Yeah. Oh, that's yours? The one that has more in it? I see how it is.
Well, it was kind of tough. I figured you'd go with the one that says Brewmaster. I get the bottles up.
I got you. Well, the Brewmaster one does look nicer, though. All right, so here's what mine looks like. So, kind of a amberish orange color, pretty good clarity actually. I use the Yeast. I forgot the number. It's Denny's Favorite 50 is what it's called. It actually lists itself as having low flocculation, so I'm surprised at the clarity. I mean, it's got a little bit of haziness to it, but looks pretty damn good though. So mine is here you go. And then we'll put Gary's next to it. Gary's uses the Maniacal Juggernaut, which is a Kvike yeast. It's a high fermenting yeast. I was looking up the description. High temperature fermenting yeast. It's supposed to go really quickly. You're supposed to be able to ferment this in like 2 or 3 days. It attenuates quickly, leaves massive stone fruit notes and light hints of orange peel. So that's his. Mine, description of mine is perfect all-around yeast for any style of beer. It's unique that it produces a big mouthfeel and accentuates the malt, caramel, or fruit character of a beer without being overly sweet or under-attenuated. So mine's more of a generic type of yeast.
It sounds like we should be noticing some fruit flavors in both of these.
Yes, from the hops, I would think so. So we will pour his kind of far away from the camera. Hopefully this mic's working, or else we're going to be doing the second take of this. So I'm saving some of that beer in case we screw this up.
Right.
All right. Keep in mind which one's his, because
Yes. Well, that is his, yes.
this is his. This is mine. So you can, my right hand is mine. You got opposite going on there. Just make sure you know what's what.
Right.
We probably should have used different kind of glass. Although it's nice that we're using the same glasses because you can actually. Okay, so I'm going to go to the camera while you're evaluating for yourself.
Yeah, they look pretty similar.
Yeah, they look similar.
Very, very close, and you can tell.
Camera cut out on us. So yeah, it looks like Gary's and mine look very similar. This is Gary's. This is mine. That's Gary's, right?
That's Gary's over here, yes.
Gary's. I mean, yeah, very similar. There might be a slight, little bit more haziness to Gary's than mine in my glass, but
That's about what it seems to be.
but that's like nitpicking at that point.
Oh, it's so minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that ours look identical. And bubbles, carbonation, everything looks the same. So they must have fermented or carbonated very similarly. All right, so let's try mine first because it's supposed to be more level, just normal.
Okay.
Smells mild, a little fruity. Definitely getting that big mouthfeel
Definitely, yeah.
that this is talking about. I don't know if that's just, we'll see when we try his and see if his has that same thing or if that's coming from the yeast.
Right.
But really, I'm getting a big mouthfeel. A little bit of hot bitterness, but not a lot.
No, it's pretty tame. It's one of those types that you can just sit and drink several of. That's not always true for an IPA.
Yeah. Getting some sweetness, definitely. In addition to the hops. Some of that caramel note coming through, which is right up the alley of this. It accentuates the malt, caramel, and fruit character of a beer.
See, I'm not getting a huge amount of fruit from it. I'm getting a lot more to malt.
Mm-hmm.
Some fruit in the smell, maybe?
Yeah, I'm smelling some sort of like orange peel or some grapefruity and orange peel mixture there.
Yeah.
Good beer. I actually haven't had this in like a week. I've been letting it sit on their CO2. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we're going to move on because we got a time limit here. Apparently, I can only record for 5 minutes at a time. Very annoying. All right, so Gary's. Same, again, the appearance is the same for all intents and
Smells very
purposes.
different, though.
Yeah. Smells less sweet.
Yeah, it's not really sure how to describe it. Almost like a stone fruit kind of smell.
All right, let's try it. Definitely different.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I can already tell mine is sweeter, more
Okay,
caramelly.
yeah,
So that must have
quite
been
a bit sweeter.
coming since we brewed the exact same thing. That must have been coming from the yeast.
Yeah. It's almost a little smoother.
This is a little, yeah, it's a little smoother, a little more dryness to it, less sweetness. Hops. I don't know if I can. What do you think about the hop flavor? And
No, I'm trying to figure that out. 'Cause again, I smell it more than I taste it, I think.
yeah, I'm saying I don't taste it. I feel like I taste less of it almost in this one. I'm getting like some sort of stone fruit or something in the flavor.
There's a stone fruit coming through, both in the smell and the taste.
I'm not getting a lot of hop on this one though.
No.
I think I'm getting less hop than on that
I
one.
know, but like kind of compare these real quick. See which one I think has.
Like I'm smelling more hops in this one too.
I'd say by taste, this one I would consider to be more bitter tasting.
Yeah. Which is weird because it has that more sweet caramel flavor too. You think that would counteract some of the hops, but I'm actually getting more of that IPA taste from this.
Yeah.
This one's more got some sort of, like I said, stone fruit is the best way I can describe it. Something going on, but less hoppy, less bitter.
Yeah.
It's good though.
No, it's delicious.
Yeah, they're both very good. All right, we'll stop on that one. I mean, I would say summarize here. I think mine, Denny's Favorite 50, definitely followed the description because
Oh, it was dead on.
the exact same wort that we shared. So to summarize, I think mine definitely is going. I mean, they probably both are going by their descriptions, but having come from the same exact wort, I feel like mine's sweeter, got more caramel notes,
Definitely.
and a bigger mouthfeel. And that's exactly what Yeast website says that Denny's 50 does. By the way, Denny's 50 is Yeast 1450. So his definitely a little drier, but still sweet, but not as big of a mouthfeel.
Right. Oh, okay. This one. I was about to say I've set them down. Which one's which, but
More stone fruity type flavors and smells coming from his, and maybe a little less hop presence just in general.
all around I would say that's true.
But they're both very good. So, all right, cheers. We're going to go on to the next one. Hopefully this video made it. I can't get shit to work. All right, we are back, and Huckleberry, really, right now? And we just finished up doing mine and MaineBrewGuy's beers since we shared the same wort, and now we're going on to the next one. And we're going on with Kick-Ass IPA by the Dean's List, Mike Dean. Very good brewer, by the way. I've had some of his stuff before.
Excellent.
And
Looking forward to it.
he,
It says on there, I think, what he uses.
yeah, I'll go ahead and read it. From water chemistry to cold dry hopping, this particular beer kicked my ass, but I'm glad it did because the result was an awesome beer that tastes, well, kick-ass. This is the Brewtuber 2020 yeast experiment, and this version is considered the, quote, base, as it uses clean Chico yeast, Imperial flagship. Enjoy. So Imperial is the, for you, is the yeast maker. It's like Y Yeast and White Lab. There's one called Imperial. They make one called Flagship, which is their flagship. So it's equivalent to a Chico yeast or a Y Yeast 1056 American Ale. It's supposed to be just kind of a clean, just base yeast that can be used for all sorts of things. So shouldn't lend too many flavors into it. So we should be able to taste really what the beer tastes like with this one. Okay, little bitty hiss. Good enough for me. Gonna save some in case we have technical difficulties and have to re-record this. I'm gonna do something too for fun. I'm gonna pour mine into one of these glasses for comparison so we can see the look and everything. Mine was also kind of a base yeast, a little bit different, but might want to repeat that because the microphone was with me. All right, what were we saying?
I was saying that this one here looks like it might be a little bit hazier.
Yeah, slightly. So, Mike, I'm comparing yours to mine because mine, it's not quite a Chico yeast, but it was Y Yeast 1450, Denny's favorite 50, which is a, for the most part, a all-around yeast. It accentuates the malt flavor, but other than that, it's pretty much an all-around yeast. We just wanted to see what the color and things look like. Color looks about the same, though.
Yeah, it's almost identical color.
Yeah, probably can't see that from there, but what the hell? Go forward. So this is mine here, and this is yours, Mike Dean. You can see the color is about the same. Yours, yeah, you can definitely tell on the camera now. Yours is a little bit hazier than mine. Mine's been conditioning in the keg, and plus I poured it off the keg now, so it's yeah, it's had time to settle. Anyways, let's try it out. Okay, so it smells.
Well, it smells a little bit more like Gary's did.
Smells hoppier. What, like Gary's? Hold on. Does it?
It's a little bit fruitier.
I think you're smelling the hops, really. Because I smell hops.
Yeah.
I smell like citrus and fruit from the hops.
Now, I think that might be what it is. I'm noticing the citrus.
Smell mine and his and see what the difference is.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, this one's it's the hops that's coming through.
Yeah. Can smell the hops. A little citrus, kind of hot flavor smell going to it. Okay, yours is a little bit hazier, same color. Carbonation seems to be on point, same kind of bubbles coming up. Head sticking around nicely. Good looking beer. You ready? I'm getting more bitterness from this one.
Definitely.
Right off the bat. This one tastes more IPA-ish. I think more of the hops are coming through on this one, and less of, like, comparatively, when I'm speaking now, I'm talking about mine.
Right.
I think mine's a little sweeter, as it's supposed to be from that yeast.
This tastes close to what I'm expecting.
Mm-hmm. This one just straight up tastes like a good IPA. Some citrus flavors, some fruit flavors. Kind of that, I don't know what you call it. I hate to use the word soapy, but that kind of, that West Coast IPA. I call it soapy, but it's just a characteristic of a West Coast style IPA. Not super, super bitter, but definitely, I think, from the three we've had so far, which is mine, Gary's, and this one, I think this one's the most like a traditional IPA.
Yeah, it's closer to what you expect to see from an IPA. Not, I don't want to say it's dry, but it's a little bit drier than the other two.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Chico yeast, it's supposed to just be a clean yeast. You're not really supposed to notice really any characteristic from the yeast. So it should just taste like it should let the hops and the malts shine through the way they're intended. I think this one's exactly to style. Very drinkable, very good.
Oh, definitely.
Mike, good beer. Taste mine again one more time right after that. Oh, you can taste how much sweeter mine is. Just
Instantly.
yeah, way
No
more,
question, yeah.
way more caramel notes in mine. Which, again, me and Gary brewed on the same system, and we split the batch. His did not have that caramel craziness in it, so that's coming from my yeast. It has to be. Anyways, that's a great beer. So far, 3 for 3.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good job, Mike. And we'll move on to the next one, which I'm not sure what that'll be. We'll dig through the fridge here. Okay, I'm going to do this on the fly. Pick one out of the fridge. Should I do that? Okay. Well, we haven't had time to research the yeast, but we will do this one.
Let's say it is.
Okay, going to have to Google it. This is a Woodshed Brewing Company, Yeasty Boys, 2020 Yeast Experiment, Dennis Pynne?
I'm assuming Pynne.
Sorry if I butchered your name. This is, the yeast is Bootleg. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have to Google this one. I am not familiar. Bootleg Biology, Brewlosophy, excuse me. I've had 3 of these IPAs in a row. Blend. So let's look that one up. And while Scott's looking that up, I'm going to pour it. I love a canner.
Yeah.
Someone that cans beers.
A little bit of time there. Is it
Brewlosophy.
Brewlosophy blend? All right.
These are clean, right?
Yes, I just cleaned those up for you. That's just water that's in there. All right.
Interesting. Looks a tad bit darker already than the 3 that we've had before it. I've got a. Actually, do we still have Mike Dean's over here? Where's Mike Dean's? There it is.
Yeah, that one right there.
Let's grab that one. Let's pour that one into this. Remember what's what here.
Okay. And this one should actually be kind of similar from what I'm seeing. It says Brewlosophy blend is a all-purpose clean yeast meant to make almost any beer style.
Okay.
Let's see. They've tested it in a variety: English brown, American porters, hoppy blonde. Let's see.
So a clean yeast.
Yeah, it's what it just describes it as a clean yeast.
All
I'm
right.
not seeing any flavor profiles mentioned that we should be expecting. And they said that they've tested it in pretty much anything except, they say, not your phenolic beers, so no Saison, Winter, Hefeweizen. That's not what we're going for here.
Sounds good. All right. Well, here it is. And I poured
It's a little bit,
Mike.
a little bit warmer.
That's what I said right off the bat. Now that I'm looking at it, it's not as much darker as I thought it was, but it's a little bit darker.
Yeah, it's not
This is Mike Dean.
significant, but it's a little bit on the hazy side like the last one was.
Yeah. Man. Wow. Mine must have been really clear because I'm comparing it now. And mine, yeah, so if you look at mine, mine's much lighter and clear.
Right.
Mike Dean, sorry, we're keeping these controls. It looks very similar to Mike Dean's, but a tad bit darker, I would say.
A little bit more coppery.
Yeah. So maybe a tad bit darkness to this. That could be, I don't know, efficiency brewing style. Could be, I don't know. Let's go ahead and dig in.
Has a more caramel smell to it.
less hop note than the last one, which was 19s. Less hop nose. Getting more malt. It's very mild, I think.
Yeah, not going to kick you in the face, at least from the smell.
Okay, cheers. Somebody was just calling me, by the way. I need to check to see who that was. I'm technically on the clock right now, by the way. I'm working.
I don't know how to describe this one.
Yeah, so this one's
Interesting balance.
lighter than the other three. Just as a blanket statement, just a very generic statement. It's lighter in all the senses, I think.
Like the mouth feels a little bit lighter. The taste is lighter.
Yep.
It doesn't have. It's not as hoppy, but it's still got a little hop. It's not super caramelly or malty.
Exactly. Yeah, you nailed it. It's lighter in all the senses. And I'm just characterizing that as not a bad thing. This is actually kind of, to me, something that you like could crush, basically.
Oh, yeah. This is the type that you throw a couple of them back in a time. No worries playing some beer pong with you.
Yeah. Beer pong beer. I hope that's not offensive.
I only play
Dennis.
beer pong with good beer.
Yeah.
I'm picky about that. I don't want to play with something I don't want to actually sit down and drink. I would sit down. Well, all of them so far. I'd definitely sit down and have multiple. So.
I'm trying to. I mean, other than saying it is light and clean, I'm trying to come up with a thing because I don't get a lot of, like you said, I don't get a lot of hops in the aroma, in the taste. Not really any bitterness. I mean, there's bitterness, but not a huge amount compared to the other ones.
Not compared to the others at all.
It's almost like everything, all the flavors and the other ones are in here, just subdued completely.
So, you know how in the Notch Club that Jack Brown's that I go to, one of the restaurants I go to, they ask you to rate the beers, but I don't like rating things.
Yeah.
And so I used to, when I first started, I started judging it on a couple different characteristics. One of them was how was it for the style.
Okay.
And this is about what you should expect from it, a little bit lighter, I think.
Okay.
But some of the other things I would judge it on was kind of how quickly could I drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put this on the little bit faster end.
Yeah.
It goes down quickly. It goes down smoothly. And how many in a row could I drink? And I could drink several of these in a row.
Yeah.
Without being like, oh, I've had too many beers. It'd be like, oh man, no, this is a good beer. I can keep going.
Yeah, his final gravity is 1015 too, which is higher than mine. I think mine was at 1011, 1010.
I think that one over there claims to be a 6.7.
The final gravity, does he say what that is though?
I don't
So
know.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have
So I don't know what his actual.
the residual sweetness
So
in
here
it.
we go, 1067 on the
Yeah, the OG.
OG, and then final was 1016.
Oh wow, his was okay. So his was actually around the same. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is a good beer. I'm just having trouble finding a description for it other than light hop on the nose, light malt on the nose, and then same in the taste. I mean, it's there, but it's light.
Yep.
Smooth carbonation. Carbonation's a little smoother, like a little lower maybe. It doesn't feel as bubbly in your mouth. It's more, like I said, the easier pounder, can go down quickly, and the bitterness isn't there as much as the other ones. It's a good beer. I don't know what else to say about it. I think we're beating around talking too much about the same thing.
Right.
It's clean. It's, in my opinion, a lighter version of the other three. So, very good. Thanks, Dennis. We'll move on to the next after I see who the heck called me. Okay, we're going to do another grab bag here. I'm going to pick one right in the front with Andy Sandberg.
Nice.
Like a Voss.
Like a boss.
West Coast IPA. See who the hell this is.
All right.
Which one of you rascals is this one? See if it's one of you that I actually know, because I haven't been on YouTube in so long. I only know like half you guys. Actually, I do know Brian. This is Short Circuited Brewers. Oh my God, this guy's got like the most amazing channel.
Does he?
It's like, we're like struggling to get my microphone set up, and like we have my cell phone hanging on the little thing over here. This guy,
It's been rough.
this guy, I should pull it up, to be honest with you, and just show you like a quick thing of his. This guy is like full production value, like doing crazy awesome instructional videos, reviews of equipment. I mean, just everything. It's like, I'm very impressed. It's very professional.
He goes through and tells you all about the fermentation on here too.
Yeah, you read that while I'm pulling up with my
So,
slow internet.
He's using the Voss Kvike, is that how it's pronounced? Maybe.
I guess, because
He brewed it on February 11th, so just a little over a month ago. Fermentation 80 Fahrenheit for 3 days, then rise to 90 Fahrenheit for 24 hours. Kegged it on the 20th, so that was 9 days later, and then bottled it on the 26th, almost a week after that. Original gravity of 1066, so about what everyone's been doing for the original gravity. Final gravity of 1013.
Okay. Look at this channel. Look at these professional videos. Got live brew days that he does every week.
Oh, nice.
Or every so often. I mean, he
His
always
thumbnail features, that's for sure.
thumbnail pictures. I mean, he's doing reviews of these things. I mean, he goes through the reviews of these things. Anyways.
It looks good. Good quality right there.
So, anyways. All right, so Brian, we're going to do yours. I love the label, by the way. Andy Sandberg's hilarious. Okay, so Voss Kvike. Yeah, so what are we thinking? Like some orange flavors, things like that?
Yeah, that's what I'd be expecting on this one here. And he even calls this one a West Coast IPA.
Okay. Well, that's what the base recipe was supposed to be.
That's what they are.
So let's try it out. We got, I don't know how this is going to pan out, if I'm stitching all these videos together or not, so I don't know when I say something that happened just a minute ago if you've already seen this in this video. We've got these two beers sitting in front of us, which are mine and Mike Dean's, just because we both kind of did a base style yeast. He did like the Chico yeast, and I did a Y yeast, very similar, Denny's 50. So we're using those just to compare colors and things like that. But anyways, so good hiss on the bottle from Brian.
Very similar looking color from this angle, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
Looks very similar.
Yeah, very similar color.
So it looks kind of similar to mine now.
I'm going to say the color looks about like yours, yeah.
Yeah, actually, his is a little darker.
A little darker.
Yeah.
Not like what was the last one we did? Was that the Kick-Ass? No.
No, that was the Brewlosophy.
Brewlosophy.
Yeah.
Was a similar color.
Yeah, because it's a darker than mine and a little darker than Mike Dean's. Me, Mike Dean, and Gary kind of had all the same color. And the last one, Brewlosophy from Dennis, and this one have similar colors.
Yeah,
so interesting.
Pretty close.
And it was 1066, 1013. So yeah, all right, let's see what we got. I'm expecting some fruity. I can smell some fruitiness.
Yeah, you can. Like there is kind of a citrusy smell to it. Not overpowering, but a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one has more citrus in the nose than the last couple ones we've had. So yeah, I'm getting a hop nose of citrus, and maybe like oranges, citrus, kind of an orangey citrus smell. All right, so cheers. It matches in the flavor, I
I
think.
was going to say you can definitely taste that too. It's there.
Some back end bitterness, but I think the majority of what I'm tasting is that very kind of some orange tangerine notes and just general citrus. Not overly bitter, but the bitterness is at the back end.
Yeah, there's some bitter at the end. Up front, you've got the fruit, the citrusness to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it makes its presence in your mouth known.
Yeah.
A little bit more than some of the others we've done.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think this one's the most citrusy, like out of the ones we've had. We've had a couple that were on the sweeter side, some with more stone fruits, and then a couple that were just pure clean. This one, so far, we're only on number 4, but this one's the most citrusy and orangey, I think, in my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah. Which matches with the description of the Voss Kvike yeast. So I think there was tangerine notes or orange notes that are supposed to come from that. No phenolics. I'm not getting any phenolics. Mouth feels good. I mean, carbonation's good. This is a really good beer.
It really is.
Yeah, this one's nice. For the people that tend to like more of a fruit citrus fruity type of beer in their IPAs. I mean, that tend to lean. Some people kind of like the grassy and the
Right.
those kind of flavors from the hops. There's different the herbal things like that. Some more like the citrus and the fruit ones. I think people that tend to like Citra and things like that are going to like this a lot more.
This is what you want. Yeah, this is it. And granted, this is sort of, I guess, fifth one now with the Conjures, and that's the fifth delicious beer I've had now.
Yeah, no, this is amazing.
They've all been wonderful.
So far, this is an awesome experiment. Everyone has made good beer. There hasn't been a bad beer out of 5, and you can kind of tell. It's kind of crazy the differences that we're tasting. I mean, they're all kind of subtle,
Yeah.
but you can tell what the yeast are doing. Two of the ones we've had so far have been, or 3, have been kind of clean yeast. Mine, Dennis's, and Mike Dean's were the clean yeast, cleanish yeast, and then 2 so far have been Kvike yeast, Gary and this one, and those 2 have kind of the fruitier things.
Yeah.
Gary's
different types of fruit.
Yeah, Gary's had more kind of a stone fruit and a little bit of tangerine in it, but this is much more tangerine, I think, much more orange.
Definitely more.
I think Gary's was more darker fruit type thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. A dark fruit.
So they're all good. This is awesome. Brian, good beer, man. And we're going to move on to the next one. We're saving all these beers to do a Frankenbeer at the end of this thing, so stay tuned for that, where we mix them all and we chug it. All right. That's like a tradition we do on the old videos I used to make.